Hey, what's up, guys? We're having Jamil guest speaker at our Zoom call right now. If you guys have questions, make sure you post them there. If you're not part of the private group, join the group ASAP. Join the group ASAP. We're just waiting for him to log in right now and start getting rolling. You know, we have a couple of questions for him. We have a couple of questions for Jamil. Hope you guys enjoy the Zoom call, guys. So just waiting. Again, guys, we're having Jamil. You guys do not know Jamil. Jamil is the Dispo King. We call him Dispo King. Why? Because he's closing between 60 to 80 properties in different multiple markets, guys. If you guys do not know him, you're missing out on a ton of knowledge, guys. So this guy knows his stuff. So make sure. I think he's joining here soon. Jamil, let me check. I think that's, he is. We're just waiting a couple minutes, guys. So any questions you guys may have, make sure you're part of our mastermind group, our private group, Wholeflips on Facebook, guys. We'll be putting all these calls on there. We'll put in a ton of content on there. So make sure you're in our call. Okay. Hey, guys. So for those who are here, again, we're having a live call with Jamil. Thank you, guys, for those who are tuning in. Again, we're bringing Jamil. This guy has closes between 60 to 80 properties every single month. He has a team, has a great team. So we're gonna have him on a quick call, Zoom call. So if you guys have questions, make sure you're part of the group. Wholeflips, Wholesaling National. The exact name for our group is Wholeflips, Wholesaling Real Estate Nationwide Virtually, guys. Make sure you join the group ASAP. So if you're not in this group, guys, you're missing out on a ton of knowledge. I'll be putting more Zoom calls. Again, I promise my private group to do these calls. It requires a lot of time. It requires, energy, preparation, but we're here, guys. I promise you guys, and I'm going to deliver. I'm going to deliver for sure. So make sure you stay tuned. I'm just waiting for him to log in. I know he was a little busy. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. I know I have the cell phone a little bit far because I got the Zoom call on this side of the camera, on this side of the computer. Okay, he said he's hopping on here in a moment, closing a few transactions. I'm pretty sure the guy is super busy. His time is very valuable, guys. He is a multi-millionaire, guaranteed. These questions are going to be answered, how he made his money, what he used to do before, and all those good questions. So he's going to introduce himself, and make sure you join, man. Make sure you join. So stay tuned. These are private calls, by the way, so I'm not bringing him into Instagram. It's only on my Zoom call, and that Zoom call is going to be posted on my private group, and those calls are going to be posted here on a platform where you'll be able to study them, learn from them, see things that you need to do so you can take your business to the next level. So I'll be far behind here asking these questions. Hey, Jamil.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, man. Just here, I've been wanting to hop on this call with you. I know you're very busy. I was telling my guys right now. Hopefully, this time is very valuable, man. I know you're busy. Yeah, I was telling the guys,
How are things?
What was that again?
I said, how are things?
Oh, amazing, bro. Amazing.
Very good. Awesome.
Running this organization, trying to get to the 80 deals a month. We're 30, 35. We fluctuate, but it's going good, dude. How you been?
Great, man. Just running on all cylinders,
That's great, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know time, I was telling the guys here, your time is very valuable, bro, and I really appreciate you hopping on this call.
Awesome.
I'm not, you're a multimillionaire, right? You're a multimillionaire. You've made your money through real estate. So let's hop on right into the questions. How does that sound?
Great. That sounds great. Let me close the door here.
Okay, yeah. Post it if you guys Guys, again, if you guys have any questions you guys want to ask, make sure you're in my private group, guys. Private group. This is only a private call. So for all those that know. All right, Jamil. So I've known you for a while. I met you through I think it was a mutual friend, which was Tim.
Yep.
And I'll let you speak on here, man. I'll start with the first question. What can you tell us about yourself, man?
Well, I'm one of the co-founders and the president of Keyglee. We're a wholesale operation based out of Phoenix, Arizona. We're in 8 markets. We are volume-based operation, so for us, it's really about transacting as many times as we can in a month, and we'll average anywhere between 75 and 85 houses a month on average. Sometimes it's a little bit higher, sometimes a little lower, but that's around the average.
Can you repeat that? How many transactions a month?
75 to 85.
You guys hear that? 75 to 85. Man, I don't know how you do it. That's a lot of transactions. I don't know how you keep yourself together. It's a lot of things going on, I bet.
I got a great team, man. I have a great team. I've been blessed to not be super involved in the transactions anymore. I'm mainly focused on the company, the growth, and spearheading that. So I've been able to get myself out of the nitty gritty, which is the goal.
One of the hardest things, right? One of the hardest things, man.
And that doesn't mean to say that I don't jump back into it every once in a while. I have to, and I like it. So for me, it's not like I'm upset that I got to start doing deals or talk to people or work with buyers. I mean, that's where this all started from. So anytime I have an opportunity to jump back in it, I do.
That's amazing, man. That's really great. That's a great leader, right? They're great leaders. Not only point fingers, they show how it's done, and then the rest. You create leaders, and they take care of it. Now you're less involved, right? That's what you created. Leaders, they know what to do. They don't come and ask you. They're not waiting for your call. For pretty much for your authorization. They already know what to do. They pull the trigger, I'm guessing, and they get those properties sold.
Yep.
Okay, that's very key what you said there. That's very key. We'll come back to, I have a question based on what you just said right now, but tell me more about yourself. Like before you were running this big multi-million operation, what were you doing before real estate?
Oh man,
a lot of people don't know that, and I've been telling you, really, he used to be, you'll tell the guys right now.
Yeah, I mean, before real estate, yeah, I've been in it a couple times, right? So in 2003 is when I got introduced to it.
Yes.
I was in it pretty deep until 2008 when the market crashed,
Okay.
and you know, our family took some pretty heavy lumps that first market cycle. And after that, I just kind of walked away and went into the world of stand-up comedy and sketch comedy. I was living in LA, working as a comedian, just enjoying that. And that lasted for about 4 years. I left in 2012 to come back to Phoenix and pursue real estate again full time.
That's crazy, man. So you come from money? You come, or
So,
no?
no, so we, my sister and I built a real estate, like basically we were doing condo conversions, wholesaling and condo conversions in Canada, and we did really well. We were self-made, so no one gave us anything to get there. We scraped and hustled every dime, but we were lacking experience. Didn't really understand how to prepare for a downturn, and I don't think that was a normal downturn, right? Yeah. So the facts that we were unprepared, and then just the level of devastation the housing market took on in that time frame was a little tough.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I know you were telling me at one point when you were doing your comedy gigs, you were using all that money to buy these properties, these condos that were super cheap, right? I know back when the market crashed, you could find condos for like 6,000, 8,000, and 20,000, whatever the case was, and you were buying these condos. Yeah. And that's how you came up again, right? That's how you.
That's exactly how that happened. So just working out there and saving money. The cost of living in Los Angeles is really high, and I saw an opportunity where I could buy really inexpensive condos in Phoenix, and they were around 25, 30 grand a piece, and they would rent it like $800 a month, and that's a fantastic return for, and I mean, talking about a product too that's built in 2005, right? So they're like brand new condos, really, A-class property, and I was buying them on pennies on the dollar. And so I was amassing those properties so that I could just support my lifestyle in California, because, rent's like $5 grand a month for just a normal place. And I wasn't planning on pursuing wholesaling or real estate in Arizona full time until I had the pleasure of doing a transaction with Tim. And that interaction just opened my eyes and changed my world.
That's amazing, man. That's crazy how we stumble upon those people or individuals that open our eyes up, and that's where we just take off, right? We definitely take off.
I think stumble is a good word if you believe that it's coincidence, like that that it just happens by chance, right? I'm starting to doubt that. Right? I'm starting to doubt that a lot of occurrences are chance based. I think that's a big part of my belief structure, and what makes me feel like anything's possible is just turning around and looking back at all of the steps and stepping stones that were perfectly aligned and seemed so random to me at the time. But when you see how perfectly everything is aligned, you stop seeing the randomness and you start seeing purpose.
That's definitely well said. That's well said. Yeah. And I guess not stumble, like you said, we meet people for a reason. I do believe
100%.
that. I 100% believe that.
Something a little bit about myself. One of those. Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
So Tim has been one of those people in my life. I always seem to run into Tim when I need him.
He's a great guy, man.
He's the best. He's the best.
We were having a lunch not too long ago, trying to see how we can help each other, Mm-hmm. And it's all about the abundance mentality, and there's a lot of opportunity out there. We can get it done, It's just not thinking about ourselves, how we can help each other and keep growing. I see you. And the reason I decided to bring you on this call is because, sorry, this is something new for me. As you see, I wasn't well prepared. Well, I just jumped right into it. I'll get better.
Oh,
It's
you're good.
actually
You're
my
good.
first call.
Nice.
My first one. So we'll
You
get
got
better.
are there some students here that are watching us?
No, they're asking questions. I told them to ask questions on my private group, but I'll be putting this there. I'll be asking the correct questions that they're asking, so we can
Okay,
have,
cool. Fun.
that info for them. So, but that's great. So you met Tim. I met Tim. Actually, a funny thing about me, I met Alex, and that's how I learned wholesaling. I picked it up and it just started asking questions, getting more into it. That's how I ended up. That's how I'm here. But back to you, man. This is I have a few questions for you here. So then from there, how did you decide to run this big operation? Because there's 36 or how many people in your office?
Over 40 now.
Over 40.
Yeah. So what pushed us here, I think, was just a bigger idea. I don't think we ever planned to have a team this large, right? We started very, very small. We were in Josiah's living room, and that's where Keyglee had its first its birth, right? So we grew to about 7, 8 people in his living room, and then decided we needed an office. So we rented an office. We didn't decide. The HOA at his house basically foreclosed on him if he wasn't going to leave. If we weren't going to leave and move the business, because they realized we were running a business out of the house, because just the traffic that was, couriers coming in, dropping off and picking up earnest deposits were all day. And so we came into our office here, and just steadily have been adding key people, growing the departments, growing our disposition department, growing our intake department, growing the acquisition guys. And because we are in other markets, it takes a pretty small community to be able to run a shop like Keyglee, right? So we're adapting to what's being put in front of us. So we see opportunities, we realize those opportunities require more people, and we hire.
That's crazy, man. That's amazing. What you just said is very valuable. A lot of people get caught up on trying to have that perfect, how can I say, have the office and have all this stuff in place before they even start. They want to have the nice house, the nice office, and they want everything perfect. And what you just said, you guys started from Josiah's condo, having 8 people there, and then you just kept going from there. You kept adapting, which that's a very, very key word right there, adapting.
Yeah, and it's necessary, because you've got to be careful. You can't. I think you're right. That's the key thing that people that are new like to focus on is everything but.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's just a common symptom of subconscious programming, fear, limiting belief structures. That type of fear-based mentality allows us to procrastinate. It's what causes us to focus on things that aren't necessary. It's what makes you think that, it's like the guy who has to get to the gym, right? It's not important what shoes you wore, dude. It's important you showed up, right? You can get to the gym and do some exercise in your bare feet, but having these specific Nikes isn't going to do anything for you. It's just distraction. It's just something that you're focusing on to keep you away from the activity that you might find painful or you might find scary.
Yes, that's very key, man. There's a saying that I like. It says, throw yourself off the cliff, learn how to build a plane on the way down.
Yep.
That's how it is. That's very key right there, what you said. Yeah, a lot of people get caught up in, people come and ask us, sometimes we have people come and ask us and but what if this? What if I get in trouble here? What if the seller asks? Just take action and adapt and figure out the rest later. Don't ask those questions, because like you said, we create those fears way before we even do it, and we never get to do it right. Like myself, that's why I didn't really prepare this call. Tell you the truth, I just jumped on it. I asked the guys last minute, hey, you guys have any questions? Let's ask Jamil. multi-million guy. He's worth millions, and he has a lot of knowledge. Not about the money also, but it's all about the knowledge he has. He runs a big organization, 40 people in your organization. That's huge. That's that's great. You guys
I'm super blessed, man. I mean, I gotta say, you know, I'm not to be credited for all of it, right? I think that, in fact, I'm not to be credited for a lot of it because the facts is that without my two partners, without each hire, this place doesn't exist. It's we all collectively agreed that Keyglee is each and every one of us. You know, it's not one guy, it's not four guys, it's 40.
Yeah, no, you're very true. That's very, very true right there. Another question that just came in from one of my guys in the private groups is, how did you start delegating things? You know, sometimes he says, that's one of the most hardest things I'm trying to delegate. How do I trust people? How did you trust people? And you have 40 people in your office. How did you trust that individual in dealing with this specific department? Like, let's say transaction coordinator.
Yeah.
People.
Reluctantly. It's not easy. That's the hardest thing, right? So for me, when I really started delegating was was it 2 summers ago?
Yeah.
My family wanted to go on a trip to Europe, and it meant that I was going to be gone a month, and I was going to be in a 8-hour time difference. There's no way for me to, because I had been very conveniently taking vacations close to a phone and close to home for years prior, right? So that I would never really be on vacation then. I'd always be working. I'd be, in a cool city with my head in my phone, working on doing deals, which isn't a problem. It's just, I felt I had to be there and I had to be in it. But, as things have grown and I got to that point where I wanted to take that trip, my partner said, look, dude, you're not going to ever be able to get out and do something different if you can't let go of the responsibilities that are holding you in this spot. And that's, I think, the truest thing, right? Because for me, I want to be doing other parts of the business, but I can't open that space up if I'm still holding on to all of the activities from a different position, right? And if you see in yourself something else, like if you see like Franco or the individual who asked the question, if their idea of what they want out of life and what they want out of their business isn't what they see right now, because what they see right now is like, a hustle or a grind or whatever it is, then that right there is the signal that it's time for you to start dropping things on people. And I had a tough time. It was a very difficult process for me. I don't think that I fully trusted that it was going to work out. But it did, man. And did things go wrong? Yeah. Of course they did. Stuff went wrong and we fixed it, right? The catastrophes or the calamities that I thought were going to follow things going wrong didn't happen. That's the key. The projection of what you think's going to happen versus what actually does happen are two different things, man. Your brain creates the apocalypse. Reality creates a speed bump.
Okay. Yeah, that's very key right there, what you said. Very, very important what you just said. So that is true, man. And I asked because, someone asked this question and they're just having a hard time hiring that first person, and what you just said. So in other words, your wake-up call was that trip to Europe where you knew you were going to be away. And that's very hard. I went through that process as well, where even though I wasn't doing much in the organization, I was just kind of hearing what everything was going. It was very hard for me to mentally unplug myself from the organization because I felt I needed to be there. I felt the guys needed help. But you just, that was your wake-up call. You said, hey, I need to go with my family. I need to unplug in. Otherwise, if I don't do it now, And trust my guys, I'm always going to be stuck in the grind in that office.
Oh, absolutely. And also it gave the people that I work with an opportunity to rise to the occasion. Right. And they did. Right. Look, the things that went wrong would have probably gone wrong with me at the helm too. Right. That's just normal stuff. The fact that I had guys that were here that were literally like, they were supporting and they were like, okay, we know Jamil's like stressed out because he's worried about these clients, and you know, they just rose to the occasion. These guys here showed me just exactly why they belong in positions of leadership as well. And how do you expect to elevate your crew? How do you expect to elevate your coworkers, your team, if you don't give them an opportunity to shine?
You're right, man. That's very important what you said. They rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
That's not what he's saying, guys. They rose to the occasion, which means he created leaders, you know, and he put those leaders in those positions. They knew they had to take action because they were in that position for a reason, right? They're getting paid for a reason. Hey, you're getting paid for this reason. You're not just getting paid to come in and take a check and then go home. You're getting paid to solve problems. That's what real estate is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's sometimes hard to kind of trust people, because you know things is not always going to go right. If you miss that one call, you might miss that buyer. If you miss that call, the seller might not sign with you, or whatever the case is, right? Do you guys still have problems right now? Like problems, we don't like calling it problems. We like calling them like little obstacles. That's what my guy calls it, like obstacles that come up. You guys have those things that come up in the organization?
All the time, man. I mean, I think that an organization is like a living, breathing thing, right? It's and anything that's alive has obstacles, right? We are constantly doing the dance of managing growth and creating stability.
Okay.
They don't go hand in hand. You can overgrow and create instability. You can be too stable and not grow. And so you have to find that delicate balance. It's a dance, right? And so sometimes you overcompensate, and that causes you to have to make a correction. So all of those things are they really go hand in hand with just being alive and being in an organization that's like a living organism.
Yeah, no, that's key right there, man. A lot of people think it's perfect. There's going to be issues. That's
Always.
Thank you for being real too. Like, you know, there's obstacles. We all have problems. Real estate is not always. That's why that's why I have this saying that it's never going to be. I don't know what the correct word is, but there's always there has to be a human being dealing with this transaction. That's why, you know, there's these companies trying to have robots, machines do them, or computers do them. You're always going to need somebody, because sellers need to talk to someone. They need to be handheld. So there's going to be issues, but there's going to be a pissed off buyer. There's going to be a pissed off seller, pissed off transaction coordinator. You know, it happens in the business.
Yep. That, and also just problem solving, you know, maybe sometimes people aren't mad. Maybe it's just like there's an issue that requires a high level of thinking, you know?
Yeah, they're having a bad day, right? So another question that came in. Okay, so I've been to your organization. People have seen your organization in business. How do you get your guys? How do you find good people? That's his question. How do you find good people?
We take it pretty serious. You know, we love to hire referrals, right? And so for us, I'd say 90% of the people that are employed at Keyglee came through a personal relationship with somebody that already works here. And so we've been very lucky to be able to have such a culture here where people come in, they come to work, they fall in love with the place, and then they tell their friends about it, you know? And then their friends are like, well, why are you so damn happy all the time? My life is miserable, man. I go to work every day and it sucks. Like, I talk to you and you act like you've been, you know, hanging out with a unicorn all day long. What the hell is going on? Like, why is your life like that? Like, tell me about it. Look, work for the majority of people out there sucks. right? Work sucks. If you have an environment that doesn't suck, you will magnetically attract talent to your organization because you support an environment where people can grow. You support an environment where people have fun. Look, if whoever it was that asked the question, that has visited my organization, or you visited it here too. This place is fun, man. It's like there's people joking around, laughing around. Like it's not just everyone just sitting at their desks 100% of the time. We get it. Everyone needs you got to take a break. You got to laugh. You got to joke. You got to do 20 push-ups. You've got to you have a cup of coffee. You've got whatever it is. Like we're not trying to be like grade school, elementary school teachers here. We're colleagues. Just they're dedicated to help each other grow.
That's important, man. That's environment is everything. Like you said, work, your 9 to 5s are most of the time, I would say 95% of the time, 90% of the time miserable. You go in, you just ask, you ask what you need to get done for the day, and you get it done, you go home. But when I went to your office, everybody was happy. Everybody was talking to each other. Everybody was walking around. You just feel the energy. You don't even have to you feel it, man. And I even walked out happy. All the guys were really happy, really enthusiastic. And it's a must. It's a must in the organization. Otherwise,
this is one of the only offices I've ever seen where people voluntarily all show up on Saturday.
Oh, that's hard. You got to tell me how to do that, man.
I don't even know how it happens.
No, our guys come, but not all of them, right? But that's great. That's great that you guys go. It's a great environment. Now they're asking resources. What resources what would you say are key resources to be able to sell properties?
Relationship is the number one resource, man. For us, obviously building the list, it's a big part of what we do. So that's having the knowledge, the manpower on like who to target, what to say, what that outreach process looks like, how that becomes a relationship is key. Relationship building is by far the best and easiest way to sell a house. I mean, dude, I've got like five guys that since I started real estate in 2012 here, 5 dudes that won't buy houses from anyone else in town other than me. And they won't even buy them from my team. Like these guys refuse to buy a house if it's not me sending it to them. Like that's what if I never sent them a house, they'd never buy another house again.
So they want you specifically to send
me specifically.
You're off your phone.
Off my phone.
That's great.
Right. And I know that if I don't send them a house, they're not buying anything. They're not buying it from any other wholesaler. They're not buying from the MLS. They're not buying from anyone. If they don't get the deal from me, they're not buying the deal. And it's like 5 dudes that do that. And I've tried, man. I've tried to move them to my team and be like, hey, look, Kevin will really take care of you, or Luke will take care of you, or Almo will take care of you. And they're like, no, not interested. If I trust you, I know that you have my best interests at heart. If you send me a house, then I'm going to pay attention. If someone else sends me a house, I'm going to delete it. Okay, I get it. But that's what it needs to be. Yeah. Right. That's what it needs to be. Your buyers need to love you, man. They got to feel like you worry for them, you care for them, you think for them, you help make decisions for them. And all of those things that I just said have to be real. You can't just pretend to do that. I don't pretend to worry. I don't pretend to care. I don't pretend to make decisions. I don't pretend to, I actually genuinely want these guys to win. So,
that's something very special from you, man. I really appreciate, you're humble. You're worth millions. And you still take the time to text these guys, send these deals to these guys. There's people who sometimes are at that level and they already think they don't want to deal with people, right? They think they're superior than people. They think they're better than people. I understand we all get busy, but sometimes, it's just the way, the actions, the things to do. And you took the time to be here. You could have said, no, my time's valuable. Can't be there, But,
well, you're a great friend, Franco. And I hope that anybody that's you know, listening in. Where are the majority of the people in your group from? Are they Phoenicians?
No, I would say probably 25% are Phoenicians. The rest is nationwide.
Nationwide.
Yeah, Vegas. So we have a little bit of everything in there. So
Awesome. So invite me into your group, and I'll interact with your guys in there. And you know, I'm happy for them to message me, and if they've got, you know, other questions or they want to post them and I can answer them in the group, I'm happy to do that. You know, whatever I can do. Honestly, I don't see myself any different from anyone else, man. I was a millionaire twice. You know, like this is my second time. The first time, you know, when I lost it, I was really humble. You know, that was a humbling thing. Like you come to a point where you realize, like, what is it? Like, the money didn't make me.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't, all it does. And I had this conversation with someone else yesterday. It's like the analogy is, you're a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Right? Your ornaments are the shit you accumulate, right? And so I'm always going to be a tree, but like if my ornaments right now are a little bit dusty, or they're a little old, or they're a little bit worn in or worn out or cracked or broken, that doesn't make me not a tree.
Yeah.
Right? And just because my ornaments now are a little bit shinier and blingier doesn't make me not a tree, right? So all these things, the money, the car, house, man, these are accumulated things. These are things that come and go. They have no permanence. And when I saw that, how easily I could lose the things that I was accumulating the first time, it really became eye-opening to me to understand that I'm not the owner of anything, man. I'm a temporary custodian.
Well, better way to say that, man, to you know, say it like that. That's very, very, very informative, very important to learn from you on how, you know, don't let money get to your head.
Yes.
Yes, we get busy. Yes, we get busy. We have a little bit less time, but that's only if you don't have a right organization, right? If you have everything on your plate, but if you have the right people, you have that time, you buy back time, you have the time again, and then you just keep creating relationships. What did you learn from that last crash that you'll be ready for this crash? What would you say? I'm not going to do that again, because we have one coming up. The next, what is it? Crashes, you know, cycles happening every turn. No, between 17 to 20 years. What would you say that you're not going to do? You learned from that first cycle.
I mean,
you lost it all.
I was really heavily leveraged then, right?
Yeah.
I was $12 million. I had $12 million in leverage, right? It was insane. Pardon me?
Hard money loans?
They don't have hard money loans in Canada. It's private lenders, but same. And like actual traditional banks were lending to me for our projects. But no, I was heavily leveraged, and that's what killed me, right? Because the projects went under, nothing was selling, the banks took everything back, and then they came and took all of our assets. And they took all of our bank accounts. They took every dime. And so I saw that happen, and I have been really allergic to leverage ever since. So I'm not a big fan of hard money. I love hard money lenders. I've got great friends that do it. I've had hard money loans myself, but I've done them sparingly. You know, I think this time what I'm prepared for, or what makes me more prepared than last time, is I've just been hoarding cash.
Okay, getting ready for that cycle. Just pretty much.
I don't even know that I'm getting ready for it. I don't expect it anytime soon. I think we still have some time. But either way, I don't think my position is going to change at all, because I'm still not leveraging. I'm still not you know, owning a lot. I hold cash.
Okay, that's great, man. Everything there you said, so you were over leveraged. That's what killed you. You were over leveraged. Now you don't have all those leverage, and And I know we're running here a little bit extra, but we'll go 3 more minutes. We'll call it a wrap. I know you got things to do. It's lunch.
Okay.
Another question, last question. We'll answer these last two questions. He said, right now, would you buy, this individual does well. He does well. He said, would you recommend me, I'm looking to buy a house for myself. Would you recommend me buying a house above the 500,000 price range? If I could afford it right now, but would I buy it? Would you recommend buy it? And it's,
my answer is, can you pay for it in cash?
there you go. Can you pay for it in cash? So I don't know.
And if not, nope.
Buy it. Okay, there you go, guys. There's that answer for that one.
I don't think you should pay for it in cash, but I don't think but if you don't have the cash to buy the house, all cash, I wouldn't.
That's great, man. That's great response right there. Great response. My favorite memory. These questions, I'm trying to find the most tiered questions. Questions are coming. People are asking me in a private group. But yeah, man, what else? I think those are it. The other questions are very, I think they've been answered in the previous call. I mean, in the previous, what you just mentioned right now. Now, my question, I'm gonna ask a question for you here. Let's finish it off with my question. What do you recommend the guys from social media? Everybody that's going from a seminar to seminar and jumping into all these seminars. What would you recommend for them? That they're following the shiny syndrome object.
Shiny object syndrome. Yeah. I think that shiny object syndrome is it's only a syndrome if you're not taking action on it, right? Yeah. I mean, look, dude. I think all the guys that have seminars, maybe not all of them, but a chunk of them have valuable stuff to provide, right? I had an opportunity to be at Sean's event over the weekend. I wasn't a speaker there this time, but I did overhear, a couple friends that have just blown it out of the water in terms of success, and they went to that event. They went to that. They paid the money. They got the rah-rah. They got the hoo-hoo, and then they went and blew it out of the water. I think do whatever you need, man. Yeah. If going to a real estate seminar, going to a real estate event is like fires you up, if that's your concert, if that's like going to like a boxing match or an event or something like that to feed your soul, to give you the fire to get out there and do some shit, man, go to every seminar you got to go to, right? Do it. Like, if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. But if you see that you're going from seminar to seminar to seminar to seminar and you're not doing anything, I think that you could probably save your money. And, you're probably not super interested in this business model. If you can't, for me, I wake up ready to do deals and do stuff and do this business and get in it. You literally have to harness me down. Like, you got to hold me down to keep me from working. Right. So if you're in a spot where you're like, I don't want to, then go do something else. There's all kinds of stuff in the world to make money.
Yeah, no, that's very great, man. The reason I was asking, because we get guys coming, it's one better way to answer that. Me, myself, I like going to seminars, and it's because I like keeping that momentum going, right? I went to one mastermind that was only $2,000 on Monday and Tuesday. It's a good friend of mine too in California. He does wholesale and flips, all that stuff. But there's somebody who paid that was worth maybe, I don't know if more than the speaker, but he's a developer. He owns commercial multi-units. He was there. And, you want to be around the correct mastermind so you can rub shoulders with the correct people. And that's something I want to create, here in the future. So I'll be inviting you, if you have some time, if you want to swing by, we'll be doing close mastermind, not to just, I'm not trying to profit any else. I'm trying to create a community where high individuals come over and we rub shoulders, we exchange things, and we just there's always one thing that you're going to pick up. You might not know 95% of the things, but if you pick up that one thing, you'll explode your business. You'll take your business to the next level.
It happens all the time, man. It happens all the time.
And then,
There's guys that are out there, you know, that do wholesale and they have their structures, and then they get our Astro course and they learn 3 things from there and they go off, right? There's guys that'll do that with Sean's course. There's guys that'll do that with Carlos's stuff, right? They'll be like, oh, I understand this, and this. But this one thing Carlos said to me was mind blowing, and boom, it's like changed my whole world. And now I'm, you know, crushing life. Okay. You will be put in the situation to learn the things you need to learn them when you need to learn them.
There you go, man. What better way to say it? You don't have to know all of it, but as long as you pick up that 1 or 2 thing that's going to take you to this next level, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
I think so.
Well, we'll call it a here, man. I know you're busy.
All right, bro.
Over time. I really, really appreciate. You don't know how much this appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate. You're my first speaker here.
Awesome, man.
Well, I jumped into it. Like I mentioned, I jumped off the cliff and I'm learning how to build it on the way down. I don't know whether it's going to lead, but you know, we're going to continue to provide value to my private group. I want to create that community.
Awesome. I appreciate you reaching out, man, and good luck to everybody out there that's working with Franco. He's a good dude. Listen to what he says.
Thank you, Jamil. Thank you.
All right, bro.
Man. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
All right, Jamil. There you go, guys. There you go. So great content from Jamil. He's worth multi-million, guys. He's been a millionaire twice. Not only a millionaire, multi-millionaire, buying assets, properties, not the whole shiny syndrome object. He bought the correct assets when the market was down back in 2000, 2012, 2013, all that, those years where the markets were down. He bought condos. He wrote appreciation. He holded the bag. He sold them at the peak. He capitalized. Now he had a big chunk of money, and he's doing it again. He's buying assets. Since he's in the wholesaling industry, he's buying properties for a discount and keeping, rentals. He has a big portfolio, paid cash. I remember, I saw him a while back, and he had a huge portfolio, and they were all paid cash. So the guy lives off. He doesn't even have to have the organization. He has passive income coming in, passive income, guys. So learn those things they say, those things, those little things. I adapt. He said, I didn't know I want to have a big organization. I never knew I was going to have a 40 colleague organization in my office. You heard what he said. He started at a condo. They hired 8 people. And then from there, it just picked up. They had an issue, which was HOA was trying to foreclose on them because they had all these cars parked outside, people showing up to their office, and they adapted. They said, okay, what's next? Do we continue? Do we stop? They kept going. They kept growing from it. They got an office. Now they have 40 people, great environment, and he's still adapting to obstacles, issues that are coming up, arising. So what I'm saying, things are not perfect, guys. Things are not perfect. If you're out there, creating problems before you even get into the business, you're never going to get anything, guys. That's why I say take action. Even there's this YouTube video where it says, making your bed is the first success to getting your day started. So if you do that small thing, you get up in the morning, you do your bed, you feel good about it, then you want to knock down the other task, which is go to the gym. Do that next thing. Get the gym done. Okay, get ready, get my stuff situated, organize my things, my to-do list, what I need to knock out first, and then you head to the office. And you keep building momentum. You see what I'm saying? You keep building momentum. This call, I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't know what I was going to answer. I said, let's jump on it. We'll go from there. The guys are going to ask questions. We'll have Jamil, he'll provide value. And that's what just happened, guys. So make sure you just get started. Make sure you get started, and the rest will follow. Again, guys, make sure you join our private group. Keep an eye out for a closed mastermind. Only selected people. No more than 30 to 40 people. I don't know yet. but I will not accept any more than 30 or 40 people. I'm not trying to promote it. I'm just saying that's what we're going to do. I'm not trying to profit from people. I want to have the correct people in my circle, guys. So that's very crucial for you too. If you're talking to somebody, spend your time, after work, let's say drinking a beer with someone who has nothing going on and you want to become more, you're doing it wrong. They're not wrong people. It could be your family member. It could be your uncle. They're not bad people, guys. But if you want to take it to the next level, you got to be around the right people. If you want to take this to the next level, you got to hang out with the correct people. If that guy's over there drinking and just pulling you in into going and doing bad things, eventually you're going to get caught up, guys. It's like it's like when you're with the wrong crowd and they're doing, I don't know, vandalizing things, and the next thing you know, they get caught. You're in the circle. You're gonna get pulled in with them, guys. It's the same thing here. If you're hanging out with 4 people that are not successful and got nothing going on, you're about to become the 5th one. Next thing you're gonna tell, oh, let's go get a drink. You're gonna get pulled in, especially if you're not strong-minded, guys. If you're not strong-minded, you have to know how to say no. And it's hard at the beginning, guys. Sometimes like, man, my family's going to think I'm an asshole. My friends are going to think I'm an asshole. I'm going to lose friends. They're going to judge me. They're not going to like me anymore. At the end of the day, they don't pay your bills, guys. They don't pay your bills. Whenever something comes up, when you have an emergency, they're not going to be there. They might be able to help you with something, but not all of it, guys. So if you're hanging out with 4 people who ain't got shit going on, you're about to be the 5th one. So isolate yourself, guys. My advice from you, isolate yourself. Learn how to say no. As hard as it is hard at the beginning. And get shit done. So that's my advice from you. This is Franco Milan with the Wholeflips team. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll be providing more value. Keep an eye out. Ask me who do you want on this interview, next interview. You see somebody that's here in Phoenix and you want to put him in your interview, let us know, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Make sure you're in our group.